Welcome to the ASDAN Community Volunteering Qualification.
We are going to be talking to you today on this video cast about putting together your portfolio.
My name is Robin Hodgkinson and I am developing a lot of the resources for the course, and I'm also going to be acting as internal moderator.
Hi, my name is Laura Hack and I'm the course coordinator.
Within this qualification there are a number of units. These units work at different levels: Level 1, Level 2 and Level 3. And you will be discussing with your assessor mentor within your organisation which level you will be taking. Now, within this qualification you have to build up a certain number of units to either gain an award or a certificate. 8 credits produce an award, 13 credits produce a certificate. And this is the first in a series of video casts which will help you develop your skills throughout the course.
This part of the video podcast will actually help you put together your portfolio. Obviously your volunteering and your experience and knowledge of volunteering is the main part of the course, but actually the portfolio evidences what that's all about. So this bit will be about putting together your portfolio. Portfolio can be any folder, divided with a series of dividers. The first page gives information about what level you're on. It'll have your name and your centre number. And the second page, we'd like you to actually introduce yourself and explain why you're on this course and what you want to achieve out of it. It gives us a bit of background about you as a person. The next section is your learner's handbook, which is packed full of information we've put together about your course and how you can pass it. And the next section notes all the different units that you can do, so the optional and the mandatory units, which you will work through and you and your assessor and the internal verifier will sign off. We now go into the individual units. So this unit is one of the mandatories, which is understanding what volunteering is about. The first page tells you why you're undertaking the unit and what you hope to learn from it, and the contents. The second page shows the types of information and understanding you need to be able to evidence. You've got space here to write your evidence page numbers, and when you finish this particular unit you will sign it, your assessor will sign it, and the internal moderator will also sign it to show it's passed. The next section are all the challenges which will help you pass the course that you need to work to. Now, not every challenge is relevant to you, but you can talk about that with your assessor or mentor at the start of each unit as to which one you need to do to pass. This particular unit has 8 different challenges which you can do. There are also, as part of the course, worksheets which you may or may not use. You don't have to, they're not mandatory, but they're very relevant to actually helping you gather the evidence together. And your assessor can sign these, or you can get a witness to sign them to say you've done them. And there are also more resources available on the Moodle, which we'll discuss later, which can give you more information about the particular areas this unit covers. I'm now going to go through an example of a unit. This is Adele. Adele has completed this particular unit, which is understanding what volunteering is all about. All her evidence has been referenced and is in the page numbers down the side. It's been signed off by her assessor, and it's been internally moderated as well to show that she's passed. Okay. Adele has actually completed a number of challenges for this unit, and she's written about her knowledge and her understanding what volunteering is all about. She's put a number of evidence into the unit, so it doesn't have to be reams of work. It can also be all different types of evidence. So Adele's put in graphs and charts, she's put in some emails, she's put in posters and some policies she's gained from her organisation. All sorts of different evidence which your assessor mentor can actually talk you through. But what I'm trying to stress is your portfolio does not have to be made up from reams and reams of written work. There are also other types of evidence you can put into your portfolio, and those are witness statements. And you can get somebody within your organisation, a friend, a colleague to actually write to explain what they've seen you doing in terms of your volunteering role. You can also talk through the answers to some of the challenges with your assessor and ask them to write an assessor witness statement as well, which they can set out exactly what your understanding is and the fact that you've met all the criteria for that particular unit. Part of the course is delivered online using an online resource library called the Moodle. We've put up handouts, the paperwork you need to complete the course in your portfolio, and lots of useful links and resources to the Moodle. And hopefully you found it by now, because this video cast is actually sat on the...
If you're used to have taken exams in the past, you will probably ask the question, have I passed or have I failed? And in a way, the question is irrelevant. There is no pass or fail. You have either met the criteria or you need a little bit more evidence to meet the criteria. So the question you should always ask yourself is, have I shown in the evidence I've presented in my portfolio that I understand the assessment criteria and have met these? Do I show my understanding of the volunteer role, for example? And that is what you have to satisfy. So it may be that you submit your portfolio to the assessor, and the assessor may say, yes, that's met the criteria, or no, you just need a little bit more evidence, perhaps a witness statement, to show that you understand that, and then you will meet the criteria. A second question you may ask is, how much evidence do I have to produce? And this is a very difficult question to answer, because we have seen some very fat portfolios and some very thin portfolios, and it really is about meeting the criteria. Some people may be able to write 10 lines and that meets the criteria. Others may need to expand it a little bit more and write a couple of pages. So it really very much depends on your written style or your verbal style. The essential thing is that you need to meet the assessment criteria. I mentioned earlier that one of my main roles on this course is to act as an internal moderator. One of the issues you have with marking portfolios is that you need to ensure that there is a consistent standard across all the students and across all the assessors. And my role as an internal moderator is to ensure that that consistency exists. So what will be happening is, once your assessor mentor has marked your portfolio, he or she will be passing it on to me, and I will be checking that they are putting the required standards into practice. Hopefully most of the time I will agree with your assessor mentor, but just occasionally I may read a portfolio and think, just on that bit there is a little bit more evidence required. So don't worry if your portfolio comes back and your assessor says, I just need a bit more evidence. This is something that quite often happens. So I hope now you understand what a portfolio is, and your assessor will be discussing with you what you need to do. Laura and I hope that you really enjoy this course and find it worthwhile.